Hey guys, welcome back. Saturday, April the 8th. Happy Easter weekend. Megan here, the faithful fibromyalgia warrior. I hope you guys are doing well. You know what? Today was actually a pretty good day. Actually, it's been a great day. Of course, the greatest reason being because I'm a Christian, because I'm saved. God is working in my life. God is amazing. Even when it doesn't seem like things are moving forward in my healing, that doesn't mean that they're not. You know, today I had a victory that I had to share. Okay, I'm not talking about a scale victory or even any of that, although I have lost a few pounds since starting the Carnivore challenge with the Steak and Butter Gang with Bella and her group for the month of March. And I've put all the details into my own calendar, so I'm continuing on through April, May, June, etc. with my desire being to eat, not to lose weight, and by that I mean body fat. There is a little bit that I would still like to get rid of, but about changing my body composition, about learning how to strengthen my core, how to strengthen my limbs, how to use the priming and the benefits of autophagy once I get into 1 meal a day, 2 meals a day, maybe even trying some rolling fast. We'll see how it goes. But overall healing so that I can actually overcome the remaining bits of chronic pain, fibromyalgia flare-ups, and so forth. And there's two people that I regularly follow on YouTube. And the first one is Rebecca Heischman. You'll find her as Tailored Keto Health on YouTube. And she shares about her faith journey and her having to surrender her determination to hold on to the vegetables and some of the things in keto that were keeping her very, very ill. And when she let go of those things, God truly helped her to start heal and put on healthy weight and reverse her autoimmune conditions, of which she had more than 10. One of which was fibromyalgia, to the point where she does cross training almost every day because she's able to enjoy it. She's not dealing with any sort of aggravated pain or that type of thing, which is amazing. And one of the keys for her, as she shares in the book she's had published and as she's shared in a number of her videos, is visualization, relying on God, prayer, meditation on the scriptures to picture herself in a healthy place. And that is definitely a huge part of it. We have to imagine ourselves outside of our condition. As unrealistic as it might feel, we have to imagine what we might be like if we're healthy, what we might be like without chronic pain. Because if we can't picture it, even as a fleeting image, it's very difficult to ever get to that point. You know, for me, and I see that not only with my physical healing from chronic pain, but it's what helps me every day to overcome my anxiety, to stay positive and not surrender to depressing thoughts, to overcome my bulimia, to stay in recovery from that, from my disordered eating and restrictive patterns. And the second part that's really helped me is because I'm doing this March challenge and the priming, and for somebody who has had 30 plus years of being bulimic, I never imagined I could reach the point of priming where I was actually allowing myself to truly nourish through the program as designed by Coach Raymond Nazon. And of course, there's Coach Emily and many other fantastic people, all trying to help each other overcome long-term healing. And certainly it's continued to help me stay away from my carb and sugar addictions. I do not crave those things when I'm following this healthy protocol. And that's all been great. And yes, I've had a little bit of fat loss in the first 2 weeks, which is fantastic. I'll take it, you know. Again, like I said, I've been fairly weight stable for the past 3 years, almost 3 years of being carnivore. Yeah, I'll help you in a minute, bud. In a minute. So, it's been really, really helpful for me. And I wasn't ready. I wasn't in a place where I was well enough spiritually, physically, and emotionally to attempt this type of challenge. Because, of course, Bella and the Steak and Butter Gang have been doing these monthly carnivore challenges for over a year. And I thought it was all going to be about, great, you're going to have to jump in and you're going to have to just see how long you can go without eating. Now, there is a bit of that, but it's a gentle, stepped approach. And for me, if I reach a point where, yeah, you know what, I can't do 48 hours, for example, that's okay. There will still be healing and benefits. I was so worried and so panicked that I would be sent back into my restrictive eating and or my binging purging that I wasn't even willing to give it a try because I wasn't ready there just yet. Also, I felt like my approach of coffee for breakfast and maybe eating around 2 and then squeezing in another meal around 5:30, well, that was the way to go. And in the beginning, I truly wasn't that hungry. My sleep patterns had not yet healed. My sleeping patterns were not yet corrected. I did not have a good, healthy sleep habit. Devices late at night, blue screens and all of that sort of thing going on, not getting enough sunlight, not getting enough vitamin D, and so forth. So for me, that was a big part of the healing picture. It wasn't enough. The diet was key. The diet was critical. And for me, I do not handle plants of any kind at all. I do not tolerate any of them. Eat it. Now, I use shampoo with coconut in it. And my body lotion has a bit of, I think it's cocoa bean or cocoa. Yeah, something like that. Anyways, that doesn't bother me. But as far as consuming plants, I can't do it. And I think it was by end of June, early July of 2020, when I realized I could let go of that. But I was so busy trying to follow what everybody else in the space was doing, I wasn't listening to my own body. I wasn't listening to what God was trying to say to me, which was, hey, wait a minute, you need to nourish yourself first. You know, I was told by somebody that in order to jumpstart my fat loss, I either had to massively increase what I was eating, which terrified me, or I would have to fast a bit, and that would get things into high gear. So I went with fasting. And of course, I always drank a lot of coffee, so that was easy because caffeine is an appetite suppressant. And so in the beginning, it was very easy, it felt, for the weight, the fat loss and the water weight loss to happen. But what I realized within the last few months is that even though most mornings I would try to eat something for breakfast, I spent more of my mornings having coffee for breakfast and having like a brunch meal. So lunchtime would be my breakfast, if you would. And then always dinner before it got too dark out. Just trying to get my body to register the proper circadian rhythms, which was helping, absolutely. But as others have pointed out, not just Coach Raymond, not just Bella, or the wonderful people that are on as part of the Steak and Butter Gang, but I mean, Sarah Kleiner has been talking about this for a long time, which is your body, to be hormonally healthy, should have breakfast and certainly a later meal in the day, but absolutely breakfast. And if you're not going to eat breakfast, then don't have coffee until, if you're going to still drink coffee, don't have it until later after you've eaten something. And I kind of heard that and I went, yeah, but it's kind of working for me. So why would I change? And then I noticed a few months ago that my weight has started to creep up, that my clothes are feeling a little bit snug just around the hips, around the belly. And not that I was anywhere close to where I was in 2020, because by the time I was ready to start keto and then quickly move into carnivore, I was over 200 pounds. I'm 5'5". Okay. 50. Yes, I'd had 2 kids. And yes, I know that women, when they hit closer to menopause, can often have abdominal weight gain. However, mine was everywhere, and it was not the menopause happening. I was still very much I'm still in perimenopause. Okay. So it wasn't just in my abdomen, it was everywhere. My face was like out to here. It was massively bloated. My joints felt swollen because my brain was so inflamed. I had unbelievable brain fog. I could not carry on a half decent conversation. I couldn't, because I would forget what I was saying. I would forget what the point was, which I'm sure became extremely frustrating for both my husband and both my sons and anyone else that we were talking to at any given time. But very quickly, as I started on that protocol, what I came to see was that how quickly the water weight was gone. I think I lost 15 pounds within the first 2.5 weeks, strictly by getting off the carbs. And then, of course, it came down to where it is now, about 120. So I lost 80 pounds of fat and water weight and inflammation. And my brain fog, I would say the first thing when I really stopped to think was that the brain fog was basically gone. I felt like I got my brain back, but I still had chronic pain. And I just figured, well, it's chronic pain. I guess there's not much I can do. I do have an old spinal disc injury from 9 years ago, but it became tolerable. It became more manageable because my pain medication was working when I went carnivore. And then I realized something incredible over these last 2 weeks, which was that, in fact, as I fed my body more, so last week I was eating 3 full meals plus snacks in between, all carnivore foods, of course. And I reached a point where I was just like, please don't make me eat anything more. I'm full. I don't want to eat anything else. As opposed to cooking what I thought I should be eating, with the fear of, if I eat more, I'm going to put on fat and gain weight again. Instead, I was starting to surrender to the process. And I was thinking, wait a second. Let me just let go. Because surviving on coffee for breakfast and then 2 or 3 more cups through the day, that's not good for me. I know it's not. 1 is probably not even that. I'm sure that 1 is not even great for me. But at this point, I've cut out enough things. I will ease into cutting out coffee gradually, which is always better anyways to do. But the one thing I got out of this past 2 weeks is, 1, always eat breakfast. Even if I only felt like I could stomach bacon and eggs, that's what I had. And the crazy thing was, literally, I would wake up and feel nauseous at the thought of having to eat breakfast. I would feel nauseated. But once I ate, I felt amazing. So it's really crazy the things the brain can tell us that aren't necessarily true. And the thing I learned most just this past week was how much of a liar the brain is when it comes to fibromyalgia. Now, let me just say this, okay? The pain is real. We feel real pain. I know this. I've been bedridden with fibromyalgia pain. Professor Bart Kay was bedridden with fibromyalgia pain. So was Rebecca Heichman, Tailored Keto Health. I have some wonderful, amazing, and incredible people who have subscribed to this channel. And I know one for certain, absolutely has been bedridden with pain from fibromyalgia, as well as herniated discs and all sorts of other chronic fatigue and other things. So when I say it's in our head, I don't mean we're making it all up. We're not. But what I came to understand from Bart was that actually, in the case of fibromyalgia, our brain is getting false pain signals, which means we may have had an injury at some time, but even after that injury is healed, our brain is absolutely convinced that there is still pain happening there when there is no further injury, which is crazy, right? So between visualizing wanting to be healthy, wanting to get through life without any crutches, no pain medication, no wheelchair, that's where I want to be in my future. How quickly it happens, I don't know, but that's where I want to get to. And I just thought it was a prayer that would never come true, so I stopped praying for it. And Bart's partner, Pim Janssen, she interviewed him on her channel, and her name, so it's Pim, and then her last name is Jansson. She's Swedish, she's very cool. And she interviewed him on what is the placebo effect, how do we hack that when it comes to things like chronic pain or autoimmune conditions. And he expressed, like, yes, we have to get the food right, the nutrition has to be right. So the more foods we put in our body that are inflammatory, like plant-based foods, okay, anything processed, seed oils, whatever it is, the more of that we put in our bodies, the more inflammatory foods we consume, the more inflamed our brain becomes. And when our brain is inflamed, if we do struggle with, say, fibromyalgia, well, that's going to keep the pain signals, the incorrect, false signals firing. The more inflammation that's there, the more the brain thinks, oh, well, there's pain in the back. There isn't. And actually, it was really interesting. What Bart explained was, like, so he blew out his Achilles a few months back playing cricket. And, so we talked about that actual physical injury that for just a moment, he didn't know he wasn't sure what had happened when his leg went out from under him. He was like, what happened? And as soon as he realized, oh, the Achilles has been injured, that's when the brain got the pain signal. Right, you're hurt. You got to stop this. And he did. Okay, there was a delay for just a half a thought of no pain. There was no pain for that half a thought until the brain realized what had happened. In fibromyalgia, for those of you who don't suffer with it, basically what it is for some reason our brains have decided that we are in severe, acute, significant pain, which will then often become severe chronic pain. And that could be a sensation of burning in our arms and our legs and our groin and our backs and our shoulders, neck, everywhere and anywhere. Sometimes sometimes and sometimes not. And anything can aggravate it, including foods we eat, if we're feeling anxious or stressed, life in general. And that's why it's a diagnosis of elimination, because they have to make sure it isn't something they can measure, like lupus or rheumatoid arthritis. Okay, so when I realized that my brain was actually getting false pain signals, for me that was unbelievable. It made me realize that, wait a minute, the pain that I think I feel, and again, like I said, I get it. I still feel a twinge in my lower back if I've sat in an awkward position for too long, or if I haven't stretched out in the morning, right? So it's not that the pain is all make believe. We feel the pain. But if we were to go in and be scanned by an infrared scanner to look for inflammation in our bodies, where our brains say the pain is, there would be no inflammation at all, because either A, there is no injury, or it's an old injury that is now healed, and so therefore it's our brain that has the inflammation in it, not our bodies. And so that just made me excited, because I realized, wait a second, maybe if I continue to eat and nourish and prime my body to give it all the fat, all the protein, everything it needs for as long as I have to, then if I can get my brain to calm down on its inflammation levels, then maybe I'll stop the false signals. Maybe that means I will actually fully reverse my fibromyalgia pain. Wow. And that's just been exciting. It was kind of like how I felt when I realized that was almost as good as the moment when I got baptized as a Christian back in 1993, and I realized all my sins are forgiven. Wow. That was, to me, that was amazing. And as much as I understand that, and it's fantastic, you know, we sometimes have these high moments of insight and faith and feeling fantastic. And I've been feeling so much better lately. I've been able to, the last couple of Sundays, I've been able to stand up and join everybody in the singing at church. I did bring myself a little, what do they call it, a coccyx cushion, just so the hard chairs wouldn't bother my tailbone, because that can get a little sore for me. But I was able to stand up. I was able to enjoy fellowship. I was able to walk around a little bit. I was able to make a short walk from the doors of the school that we meet at and where we park the car. I felt a little stiff, but otherwise I felt amazing. And of course, when we have those great spiritual moments, wouldn't you know it, there's Satan waiting to tempt us and cause us to stumble and struggle and fall. So for example, today I was in town, went in with my electric wheelchair, no issues, had some lunch, grabbed a coffee. I went into Primark, excited to get something, and I saw these really nice, like, tailored shorts, like a skirt, actually, and it was pretty, and it should have fit fine, right? My size. Went to try it on, too small. And my first thought was, oh my goodness, how is this possible? What's wrong with me? Am I putting a weight on somehow? And I knew I hadn't. I'd lost some fat over these 2 weeks. My waist has gotten slightly smaller. My hips have gotten a bit smaller. My clothes are all fitting better at home. It took me a minute to go, wait a minute, it's not me. They have done something with how they size some of their clothing items. Because my favorite pair of jeans, my blue jeans, are from them, size 10 UK, that I bought last year, fit me perfectly. Even like first out of the dryer, no issues. But that could have been a massive stumbling block for me because of my history with, you know, self-image, body image, etc., and so on. And it could have ruined the rest of my day. But I chose to not let it upset me. I put them back, got what I actually needed, left the store, and when I got home, I made myself an egg and butter coffee, which, okay, I know it sounds weird, but actually it's kind of nice. And all it is a, I don't know, a pat of butter, 20 milligrams of, like a slice of butter. There you go, 25 milligrams. In this mug with a little bit of sea salt, a little bit of baking allspice, which is cardamom, nutmeg, cinnamon, and ginger. Just a pinch. Give it a little warmth. I put in one whole egg, one egg yolk, added hot water, put it all together, mixed it all together with my little hand mixer, egg beater, whatever, and got it all frothy, and it tasted amazing. And it had enough fat, cholesterol, and protein to actually fill me up, make me feel better. My usual go-to would be, oh, I'm going to have coffee then. I'm going to have a coffee. And for what? No. But I guess I wanted to share this because as much as there has been progress, there are still moments when I'm tempted to fall into old thoughts and old patterns. And so for me, yes, the food is important, and how much I eat and actually nourishing my body as I'm really learning to do properly. Not to say that eating beef and bacon and butter and eggs hasn't been good so far, but for me, making sure to put that first thing in my day instead of coffee, total change, complete game changer. And I'm actually learning to hear my body send the hunger signals and the signals of fullness, which is important. If you don't know you're full, you just keep eating when you don't have to, right? But for me, it's been amazing. And yes, a big part of that is, of course, nourishing my body with the right amounts of food and the right kinds of food, but also being able to stay faithful and walk with God. The two, for me, have to go together. They have to. Clearing up my brain fog, getting my brain back, allowed me to walk my way back to God. And it is that relationship with God and eating the right foods that is helping me get healthy and heal every day. And whereas in the past, if I put on something I thought should fit me and it didn't, that would have sent me into a down spiraling panic attack. But it didn't today. Today was a victory. And if you are anything like me and those are things that you struggle with or have struggled with, you understand how important it is that we have those victories. And I don't know. I'm kind of rambling on. I do apologize. I just wanted to share this with you guys because I felt like it's important, and I want you guys to know that I'm not this perfect person who never struggles, never has any issues, because it's not true. Today could have sent me into a down spiral. It could have sent me into a binge or a panic of some kind, but I didn't let it because God is amazing. And I remembered how incredible God is. And actually, when you stop and think, you know what, Jesus died for me, I think I'll be okay. That helps. That helps. Sometimes, not always. Sometimes it's more I have to get down on my knees, so to speak, and pray and ask God to help me. But being reminded of the fact that Jesus died so he could be risen, so he could save us. Okay. God has this. Wow. God is in control. He is amazing. He is perfect. Enough said. Anyways, guys, sorry about that. That's enough for me, I'm sure, for all of you. I hope you guys have a fantastic Easter. And I'm so glad that you guys decided to join. Join me. Sorry, not live, but thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for all your support. If you think this video might help somebody or encourage someone, please go ahead and share it. I don't mind. I really have no issue with that, obviously. If I can help somebody, fantastic. That's why I do it. But I'm very thankful for all of you. And I hope you guys have wonderful, wonderful Easters. And I will see you guys soon in the next video. Bye for now.